was just an active red light. Defending.
I think it's like.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, man. Come on. People deluded, I'm back again. Another Arsenal game, another defeat, unfortunately. As you can see above me, Nottingham Forest 1, Arsenal 0. First thing, you have to be gracious in victory and defeat. Credit to Nottingham Forest. Biggest compliment I can say to them is just like Brighton last week. Didn't have to get out of first gear or second gear, better yet, to beat us. You know, they just had to do the minimum. They wasted time where they could, and I'm not criticizing none of it because it was amazing. That street smartness is what we've got to do. They were rigid defensively. They knew that we're very precise as a football club. We're not going to go direct because we don't have a physical number 9. So they just kept their space. We knew that they knew we would huff and puff, but ultimately there was no quality of shots really and truly. They took advantage of the mistake from Odegaard on the transition. It's a different day, another player, because while Odegaard's done that a couple of times, he's been a great player for us, but several players have done that. You know, we've been frail in terms of set pieces, in terms of game management, in terms of transitions. This last sort of the season, we've suffered mentally, and I think we've been... Today, I think we was on the beach. Against Liverpool, I think we were shook in the second half. City, I didn't believe we could get... They looked like they didn't believe they could get anything from it. Southampton, it looked like external factors got to us. Beyond everything, mentally, these lot have crumbled at the last stage of the season, really, and it's terrible. I'm seeing, again, I love my players. I love my manager. And I do think they care. I do think they tried. I don't think they went out there to lose. But cynically accepting it for what I saw, it looked like players that were on the beach. Players that just wanted the season to be done. Forget the title, which is gone. This is your chance to get, for some of you, the highest points tally this club has got. This is meant to be foundations for next season. There's always something to play for. So if anyone thinks the season is done, away from what we can improve, get the hell out of the football club. Because players, it looks like players think they've achieved anything. If I look around that team and you've won a Champions League and a Premier League and done all these wavy things at Arsenal Football Club specifically, then fair play, be on the beach. But last time I checked, I never saw that. Squad depth is an issue. Relying on certain individuals is an issue. None of this scapegoating thing. We win, lose, and draw together. Jesus is fair enough. He was huffing and puffing in the first half. He's not interested in scoring goals right now. Eddie came on and there was a bit more hold-up play. Saka tried initially, out of gas, and has been what he's been in the last couple of games. Odegaard, the same. You know, I thought Jorginho was one of the better players, but it was Meaty, really. You know, they took advantage of the mistake. We had possession. We even had a bit of chances, but Navas didn't have to work hard. Didn't take advantage of anything. Didn't defend well enough. And ultimately, looked like we didn't... again, forgive me for being cynical, but it looked like we didn't want to be there. Didn't look like we want to be there. Yeah, a couple of calls are booky from the ref, but I don't hear nothing about ref and conspiracy bullshit today. We lost because we lost. You know, there's a lack of physicality. The tactics were bewildering. You know, we needed Xhaka in the midfield, even though he was kind of playing there. The Partey right back thing didn't work. You know, Kirill left back not really working. You know, Jorginho and Odegaard not really bringing nothing to the table in midfield across the course of 90 minutes like everyone. Jesus is huffing and puffing, but that's about it. It's basically Lacazette stuff. There's a lack of... We don't have the scope to go direct and just, you know, put crosses in or just knock it into Jesus just to get us further up the pitch, or just out of 10 times, by all means, play these fancy 5-yard passes. But out of the 10 times you want to try that, at least 2 of the 8, you know, 8 times you do that, twice you go long. We don't have that capacity. So it's another one, really. And for me, no one likes losing. No one wants to lose, but I always want to be competitive. If you're competitive and you lose to a team, fair enough. Nottingham Forest, a ground that we've lost a couple of times in the FA Cup, you know, they're fighting for their lives. That's the easiest 3 points they will have fighting for their lives in the Prem this season. And we seem to be helping all the relegation clubs. Didn't turn up against Everton, bottled it against Southampton, twerked for West Ham. Is what it is, man. You know, is what it is. We just need some better players, better squad. All these things. Arteta tactics did not work. Simple as that. It did not work. If it worked, it would have been great. The Xhaka left back thing didn't make sense. You know what? Big up the subs. The subs came on and done something. Apart from Fabio Vieira, I thought Eddie did a lot better than anyone out there. Trossard, I mean, Tierney the same. It's not really hard. So we deserve to lose. And the biggest testament I would say to Forest is neither out of the 22 players, it couldn't have been a game of football. That was a training session for Forest. Kits are not dirty. Credit to them. I think they're staying up now. For us, you can't. No one should be hungry after the game. No one needs Lucasades and all them fancy fluids. You don't need to watch the game again, because I do think you lot care. And I love you lot, but looking at football for its worth, you can't tell me you cared today. You can't tell me you just wanted to bounce back from losing. You know, previous games like that this season, I've seen protagonists. I've seen people that want to make the difference. Today, I saw people passing the buck. Some people wanted to fight. Some people couldn't fight. Some people didn't know how to fight. Some people are looking around trying to make other people make things happen. It's predictable. It's stale. It's boring. Among other things, the system was bewildering. It's just an L for everyone, even down to, I love Mikel Arteta. There'll come a time where we don't know if you're good enough to go where we need to or not. But you've passed this test this season with flying colours. But you've also done some stupid stuff this season. And today was another case of it. When you look at it, the decision-making from everyone was terrible. It's a boiling hot day in the United Kingdom. Our manager's wearing a jumper. So decision-making from start to finish was dead. At that point, I would have loved to have seen Smith Rowe come on as well. We weren't really on it. I wouldn't say Forest were amazing, but they definitely came out the blocks a lot better than us. They put us under early pressure. They were throwing the ball long throws, pumping it into the box as expected. Big up Morgan Gibbs-White as well. Yeah, man. A more physical striker would be... I'm not going to stop this agenda. We need another number 9. Like, shout out to Jesus, but you're looking like you want to play out wide. You're not born to score goals. I love the guy, but you got the capacity to get it, but you don't want to score. And really and truly, what are we creating? Players have lost form. Players are feeling sorry for themselves. It's become predictable. And it's like in life, when things are going well, as you saw earlier in the season, if that happens early in the season, we turn that around. Positivity is infectious, just like negativity. When things go wrong, it could go worse. So if a damn player at this club wants to feel sorry for themselves, wants the ground to open up, let Arteta know so he can come out the club. Because any time, of course, if you're doing well or bad in terms of form, it's going to affect you. But it's like we feel we're the best team in the world when things are going right. And it's like we move like we're mad rubbish when we lose. When everything's going wrong, you need to be positive. And everything's going right, you need to keep level-headedness. And there's many things that we need to learn this season. There's stuff to be proud of. There's good building blocks and foundations. People can laugh at us. Mentally is a big thing. Yes, better tactics, better personnel. Mentally, get yourselves in check over the summer. Get yourselves in check over the summer. Because this is away from everything you believed in a positive sense. You believed against Chelsea. You fancied the Chelsea game at home. You were up for the Newcastle away game. You weren't up for all the games sandwiched in between that in this last furlong. You haven't. What's that? 2 wins from 8. Probably a normalization of the overall performance we've been doing, but it's been bottling. And I'm not even talking about in relation to the league, just being competitive. If we played amazing, played to our capacity, Nottingham Forest played out their skins because they're fighting for their lives, what can you say? Sometimes you have to be gracious and accept defeat. You still have to be gracious and accept defeat, but ultimately, like Brighton, didn't have to get out first gear. Says it all, innit? Like, different days, like, our lack of street smartness, our evolution in terms of tactics, our want to walk it into the back of the net, the inability to go direct. Sometimes Arteta has shown at crucial moments, and especially now, all of his frailties, where you're doing things that don't need to be done. Like even Tony Adams couldn't understand it. If it worked, Arteta would have been a genius. Today, you have to hold your licks. No physicality. System is bewildering. Even when we started changing it, couldn't cope with their directness. Couldn't afford to be direct ourselves. Low tempo as well. We're playing like... We know they're going to, and they weren't over physical, but they were putting themselves about. We know they're going to do that because they can't cope with the way we're playing. If we want to disrupt the shape, we need to move it quicker. You let me know if we did that. It's horrible, man. It's what it's that. There's nothing more to say apart from, the best thing is next season is soon here, isn't it? Really? You got Wolves on the weekend next week, and that's that. Credit to Nottingham Forest. Congratulations for staying in the league. Big up Cooper. And, some of their players are going to keep getting their pay packets because had you have got relegated, some man wouldn't be there. So, yeah, man, it is what it is. Credit to City as well. Congratulations. They'll probably get a guard of honor against Chelsea. All we can do is go again next season. But until the street smartness improves among everything, and until we improve our defending, our street smartness, and our I've lost my brain now. I was just thinking about a chance to happen. Until we improve being able to handle our emotions and our lack of defending and street smartness, this club can't go anywhere that it needs to go. But let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button. And again, people, it's been fantastic watching this season with you, regardless of what Arsenal are ever doing, as the season draws to a close. To those of you that are consistently here, just want to say a massive thank you, because without you, the channel is dead. Smash the like button. Let me know your thoughts. Subscribe if you haven't. Bless up and enjoy what's left of your Saturday, innit?
There's always that active and defending.
I think it's like